Hello again, it's Cliff from down under. I'm burning the midnight oil. I can't see the shadows under my eyes. Momentous day for me. It's October 2016 and I've been putting together the early adopters probes, impact tolerant touch probes, and it's been a great journey so far and I'm looking ahead to the future. It's been a bundle of fun and enjoyment. I'll get the camera unclipped and show you what I've been up to. And the final stage assembly of the early adopters probes. So I put together half a dozen of the Hallmark impact tolerant touch probes for the early adopters, and prior to that I've done production runs for the sake of the economies of scale of the hardened and cylindrically ground tool steel arbors, the anodized end caps, the bodies, and of course all the internal components. I probably won't go into details on the internal components or design just at this moment for IP protection reasons, but it's been a really enjoyable project and process, right from the product R&D and product design and refinement, Mark 1, 2 and 3, and now the production version, the Mark 4, which is essentially the Mark 3, that's the end one there with the black engraving, but it's just a little bit refined and tweaked and improved, and the specifications are more production specifications with better tolerances, and I'm really happy with it. Actually just plugged them all in and tested them a minute ago, just the initial tests, and everyone went faultlessly right from the get-go. So that's a good sign. Shows that there is probably a good margin, design margin there, and I'm really happy with it. Been a really enjoyable process. Okay, let's demonstrate the new Hallmark impact tolerant touch probes resistance to crashing. So let's crash it in the Z. No damage done. Let's crash it in the X. So you can see that it's completely resistant to crashing with that sort of depth of impact. Traditionally, touch probes are constructed with a fragile stylus stem, and in the event of a crash, the stem is obviously self-sacrificing in order to protect the probe internals, but it's also expensive. Well, the Hallmark impact tolerant touch probe, as you can see, is constructed with a solid, more rigid stylus design, and of course that flexes less than a fragile self-sacrificing type stem. With this design, in the event of a crash, the stylus assembly retracts away on impact. This not only avoids stylus stem breakage, but also gives better accuracy, especially compared with fragile stemmed probes in this price range. And as I've mentioned in my other videos, in addition to this, like the high-end probes, the Hallmark impact tolerant touch probe has fluid immersed contacts, and this gives lower wear, smoother, more accurate operation, and better long-term reliability than for example dry contact type probes. Of course, touch probes allow you to set your work offsets really quickly. If you have Path Pilot or Mark 3, you can set your work offsets in X, Y and Z very quickly just using the probing routines. Let's set the Z. Z set. Let's find that front corner. So as quick as that, you've accurately set the work offsets for that front corner in both X, Y and Z. It's just a huge time saver. Another example of how useful a touch probe is, you can find the center of a hole very quickly. You just jog approximately into place, open up your probe page and press the button that says Find Work Center and Set Work Origin. Well, over a week's gone by now and I've been doing some pretty advanced checks off the probes. I really wanted to be 100% sure that they were as perfect as they could be, the best version of themselves, as I've heard commented online, before they're sent to the beta testers even. And eventually I started to find a couple of things that I just wasn't 100% happy with, that I thought could be improved on. And I thought, well, this is a unique opportunity while I've got so many I can line up side by side and do slightly different versions of the internals and compare test them with each other. Yeah, designing, developing and inventing a product is a fascinating process. It's challenging at times and it's very difficult to predict the time frame. You know, I'm sure a lot of you have been down this road yourselves and you can empathize with me. I remember reading an interesting blog on the Hallmark development of the rapid turn, which actually I'm just getting in a few days' time, so I'll do a video on it, and that'll be really interesting. And they went through various versions of Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, and one of the comments was, you know, we've got there in the end, but the process is not pretty. And I can imagine, you know, they've got this very expensive process of developing products, Mark 1, 2, 3 versions, which just aren't right. And what do you do with them? That you can't sell them, you just got to kind of put them in a museum somewhere. Yeah, the process is not pretty. I can really relate to that. And that's because you've got a dream about what you want to achieve, but you're sailing into uncharted waters. And you don't know what the obstacles are. You don't know how long they're going to take to resolve. So it's an unpredictable process. You have to be methodical and just be really patient. And that's quite tricky if you're also running an engineering business, as I am. I'm doing contract tool making and production of parts, and trying to keep the clients happy, keep up with the workload, and fit in a development project at the same time can get quite demanding at times. So I've got to do a little bit of a catch up as well. So realistically we're looking at after Christmas, I suppose, before I can start to release the latest version. I won't call it a Mark 5, but you know, Mark 4 fully refined will probably be after Christmas. So if you're interested in one of these probes, probably in 2017 now, and you'd like to contact me, you can email me. I'll put my email address in the end of this video. I'm just going to put a clip in now showing some of the production machining stages of it, and then before or after that I'll put in my email address. It's cliffhalldesign@gmail.com. If you're interested in and you'd like a probe, or if you're an overseas manufacturer and you'd like to manufacture or discuss manufacturing the probes, it's a big world for some other area on this planet. I'm happy to consider that as well. Many thanks to you for your support and encouragement, for your emails or comments. It's been really appreciated.